The biggest myth that I see within the crypto industry is just like a lack of education about the technology, and that automatically people think that crypto is a Ponzi scheme or crypto technology is a get rich quick scheme. It's not. Really, blockchain technology is a very transparent way to do business. Blockchain is actually a ledger where you can go on and see every transaction. And if you really want to get into the blockchain technology, there's several YouTube videos. On the GIE app, there'll be a whole educational platform. We're going to have an AI that can walk customers through a lot of the processes and educational material on the platform. For those of you who still don't believe in AI, there's a disable button where you AI from the app.
Hey everyone, this is Devin Miller here with another episode of The Inventive Expert. I'm your host, Devin Miller, the serial entrepreneur that's grown several startups into 7- and 8-figure businesses, as well as the founder and CEO of Miller IP Law, where he helps startups and small businesses with their patents and trademarks. If you ever need help with yours, just go to strategymeeting.com, grab some time with us to chat, and we're always here to help. Now, today we've got another great guest on the podcast, Tavi Gallego. And Tavi, we're going to be talking about a few things, including the transparency that's brought with crypto and with blockchain, and also how it can be used to keep people honest, and discussing a little bit about the myths behind crypto that can lead to Ponzi scheme. We might also talk a little bit about the different types of coins that are out there, and the difference between centralized and non-centralized exchanges. So it should be a lot of great conversation. And with that much as introduction, welcome on the podcast, Tavi.
Thank you so much, Devin. I really appreciate you having me on.
Hey, excited to have you here and looking forward to a good conversation. So now, before we dive into some of the topics at hand, just as a reminder to the audience, Tavi was on our sister podcast, The Inventive Journey. So if you haven't had a chance to catch his episode there, definitely encourage you to do so. But for those that haven't had a chance to catch that episode yet, just take a minute or two just to introduce yourself to the audience.
Absolutely. Everybody calls me Tavi. My actual name is Octavio Gallego. I pretty much grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, part-time, and then here in Colombia, South America. I'm down here in Colombia, South America, visiting my father who was sick, and I'm taking care of him. And so I've got a little bit of a shaky internet, so you guys will have to forgive me if I cut in and out. I've started this new project. It's called the GIE project, or Global Investment Crypto Exchange. And the overall goal of the crypto exchange is to get every business, small and large, whether you're a bakery down the street or you're Walmart or Amazon, we want every business all around the world donating a small percentage of their profits to verified local and global charities that are helping our communities and our planet. That's the overall goal. We're going to lead by example by donating a percentage of our profits to one of our nonprofit or charitable partners. We're going to start off with 8 charitable partners, and then as time goes on, we're going to incorporate more and more. There is an option where our GIE members that download the app can suggest other nonprofits that we're going to obviously review and make sure everything's in order. And if we like the nonprofit and they're not a competitor to one of our current nonprofits, they're going to join us on this journey that we're on. And so that's really what I'm trying to promote today is the Global Investment Crypto Exchange. We don't have a launch date just yet. All I can say about that is coming soon. And if people want to check out our website, as we get closer and we know a firm date, a launch date, we'll definitely give you all a heads up.
Awesome. Well, definitely a great introduction, great business. I'm excited to chat with you a bit more about the realm of cryptocurrency. So now I'm going to, in no particular order, I think that, for I'll call them the layman, or the person that is maybe just a bit familiar with cryptocurrency or heard a little bit about it, or, or blockchain and those type of things, but aren't that familiar with it. Sometimes, the main thing you hear is just what you hear in the the news or with the media, and that oftentimes is, there's been a few of those that have been more so prevalent in the media, which have been more of the, whether it's Ponzi scheme or those things that have been less than are stellar for the industry or for the cryptocurrency industry. So maybe walk us through, as far as, is that kind of a prevalent issue in the industry? Is that something to be worried about? Is that kind of a side note, or is there ways to avoid it, or kind of give us a bit of an insight there?
Absolutely. So I'll kind of give you a background on that. I'm a Christian, and I had a friend of mine from church, pretty close friend of mine, and he said, I told him I was doing something with crypto, and he said, "Oh, so it's a Ponzi scheme." I mean, like right off the bat, and it was like, dude, like there's so much more to crypto than the Ponzi schemes, the fraudulent stuff, the scams. There's so much more to the technology. And so, for those of you who don't believe in crypto or have that presumption of it, it really is blockchain technology, and cryptocurrencies are the future. And so, whether you believe it or not, that's what's coming. Crypto technology is where we are headed. And once I think governments get a control on it and are able to regulate it and, of course, tax it, that's where you're going to see our currencies headed. And so the unfortunate part about crypto is because it's like the Wild West. It's a new concept. It's a new industry. There's not very many regulations on it. Um, People are taking advantage, unfortunately. And so there's some ways that you can kind of do some research and make sure that the tokens and things that you're looking into are legitimate. I challenge any customer who has not invested in crypto and is thinking about it to make sure that the platforms that they are using are decentralized and that they're non-custodial. Non-custodial digital wallet means that you are the true holder of your funds. There's some upsides and downsides to that. I'll go ahead and give the downsides. The non-custodial digital wallet
Now,
is
maybe just
protected
if
by.
I jump in, just, and I think that definitely want to hear, but just maybe to help
Absolutely.
people understand. So make sure to walk us through how that which type they're looking at, so that as you give that explanation, people's like, great, I know what it is now. I still have no idea how I'm going to go and check that. So yeah, with that, just as a quick reminder, go ahead.
Absolutely. Thank you, Devin. I appreciate that. So really, it's just a matter of doing some research. Google, you can search it in your browser if you choose Google or any of your other browsers. You can essentially search whether the platform that you're looking to download on your phone or your desktop is a custodial or non-custodial. You can just type in, is such and such platform a custodial, non-custodial, or is such and such platform a centralized or decentralized application? And it'll the I use Google. I'm not giving a plug to Google. That's just what I use, and I've done my research, and it's pretty on point with that. So if you search in your browser non-custodial versus custodial and decentralized versus centralized, you should get the answer.
Awesome. Well, that definitely is a good walkthrough. Didn't mean to interrupt. So with that kind
No,
of as a backdrop, yeah, walk us through a little bit more, kind of what are the
yeah,
differences, and help us understand that a bit better.
yeah, and Devin, feel free to interrupt me at any time. There's so many things. I was talking to some people about, like, I could talk about this for 8 to 9 hours before I got through everything. So, feel free to interrupt, or if something seems fuzzy or not clear, just let me know, and I'll definitely clear it up. So, when we're talking about custodial and non-custodial platforms, um, a non-custodial digital wallet it's essentially like a safe in your house that holds your digital funds. So we're talking about cryptocurrency as an investment tool, as a way to do financial transactions. You want to make sure that the digital wallet that you're holding your funds in is a non-custodial digital wallet, which means you are the true holder of your funds. So let me take a step back. The true essence of cryptocurrency was decentralization and eliminating third parties from financial transactions, being able to intercede into your accounts and things like that. And so as the technology came, Bitcoin was released. Satoshi Nakamoto released the Bitcoin white paper. I won't get too much into that, but as the technology was evolved, it's like what was intended for such purpose now got reverted right back to what we didn't want with cryptocurrency, and that's centralization and that's control. And so a custodial digital wallet, the platform actually holds your digital funds, they hold your seed phrase, they hold your keys, they actually hold your funds. And so a non-custodial platform, a digital wallet, means you are the true holder of your funds. So there's some upsides and downsides to the non-custodial platform and the custodial. The non-custodial digital wallet allows the user to truly hold their funds. And I look at it like a safe in your house. If you have gold or some asset of value in a safe in your house, only you're going to access that. And so, of course, you want to keep it protected, bolt the safe down, make sure that nobody could come in and steal. And so that's why I really, truly believe in the non-custodial platform, because it's a very safe way to hold your money. And so the upside to it is that you are the true holder of your funds. The government, there's no banks controlling your funds. There's no government controlling your funds. It's truly the member or the owner of that wallet, of that non-custodial wallet, is the true owner of their funds. The downside to it is that it's protected by what's known as a seed phrase or a private key. And there are stories of people who have gotten wallets and put, thousands of Bitcoin or thousands of currency, and then they lose their seed phrase or they lose their private key. And that is really a loss, because it's like burying your gold in the backyard, but then forgetting where you buried it. And so the only downside to the non-custodial wallet is that you've got to keep your private key and your seed phrase somewhere very safe. Again, the upside is that you're the true holder of your funds. Now, a side note, some of these custodial platforms, the biggest cryptocurrency apps that you know of, are operating as custodial platforms, and they're operating on centralized exchanges, which means they hold your funds. And so I won't get into the names of what these different platforms are, but if you can think of some of the biggest well-known cryptocurrency applications, they are operating as custodial platforms and on centralized exchanges, which means they hold your funds, they control everything. And one thing I noticed, I had one of those applications, and there was a huge sell-off of a token, and I kept getting I was like, well, I'm losing value. I need to go ahead and sell that token as well. And I could see I just losing money every 5 minutes, just losing lots and lots of money. And so I got on the platform and I kept getting a pop-up block saying, we're having technical difficulties. Your funds are safe. Please try again later. And it makes me wonder if that's really the case. And so I'll let you guys kind of determine what that really means. But when the custodial platforms and the centralized platforms, when there's a sell-off of token, those platforms are coming out of pocket to reimburse their customers. And so it just made me wonder what was really going on behind the scenes. And now going into a centralized and decentralized, it's very similar. A centralized exchange means there is a central authority figure controlling everything. A decentralized exchange is there is no third party, no government control, no banks controlling it, and it's the true essence of crypto. The true essence of crypto, non-custodial digital wallets operating on decentralized exchanges.
Now, I assume the trade-off, excuse me, with having the custodial, or the benefit of why people choose it, is that way if you do lose, you lose access, it's much easier to recover it, or you have that intermediary that helps you to monitor it or to do it. Is that the main reason why people sometimes will choose custodial? Or kind of walk us through? I assume if all was its downside, nobody would ever choose it. So help us walk us through when you're making that decision.
So I think that, in my opinion, when I first got into crypto, it was just my lack of information and knowing what the difference was. Um, and so I think a lot of people are operating and investing in crypto not knowing really the difference. And so I think a lot of this comes from just not knowing. Uh, this is the first time I've heard of this, Tavi. The difference between a centralized and a decentralized, custodial, non-custodial. And so what I want people to understand is a lot of these bigger applications are operating crypto applications. I'm sorry. A lot of these bigger crypto applications are operating like unregulated, uninsured banks. And so there was a big news break about one of the founders of an application. I won't give the name, but I think he's in jail now because what he did is he took his customer funds and reallocated it the way he shouldn't have. And that's what I'm getting at, is that these custodial applications, these centralized applications, are really holding their customer funds, and they have the option, they have the opportunity to misallocate, and you have the potential for a complete loss in some of these platforms. Where I'm not saying that this will happen, but it could happen, where you wake up one day and all of your crypto is gone. Why did that happen? Because you were operating on a custodial platform that's using a centralized exchange. Again, like you're saying, Devin, there is an upside to the custodial. It's very similar to when you lose your password at the bank. If something were to happen, you could go to the bank and you could say, hey, and verify yourself through different methods, and they can help you access your funds. So that is the one upside to the custodial platform, is that if you were to lose your seed phrase, if you were to lose your password, they could help you recover the wallet because they actually own your wallet.
Hmm. Well, that definitely is a helpful walkthrough and kind of gives you a consideration as to which option you'd be looking at. Now, one of the other things that you touched on a bit is that or many people aren't necessarily aware of, is there's different types of coins. There's stable coins and there's other types of coins. So walk us through a little bit. What are those? What are the different types of coins that are out there, and what are the differences?
Absolutely, absolutely, great question, Devin. So you have so there's different types of tokens, and I classify them into three categories. There may be other people maybe higher up and that know more about the cryptocurrency world that could maybe even break it down more. But the way I look at it is there's three types of tokens. There's a stable token or a stable coin, a variable token, and a scam token. The stable token or coin is going to ride the value of an asset. So there's an example of, like, there's a coin called USDC or USDT that are both tokens that ride the value of the US dollar. There's tokens that ride the value of gold, where each coin represents a certain percentage of an ounce of gold for that sake. Silver. So the stable coin or token is going to ride the value of whatever it's tied to, and there's not a lot of opportunity for a lot of growth in that type of investment. That's more of like what I would look at as either a long-term investment or, and let me preface this, I am not giving financial advice. This is just how I, Octavio Gallego, perceive the different cryptocurrencies, and I have a little bit of knowledge about it. So stable coin is going to ride the value of a certain asset. Then you have variable tokens and coins, and those are like a stock, where the more people invest in it, the value goes up. The more people sell the token or coin, the value goes down. And that's considered a variable token or a variable coin. And then the third classification would be a scam token or a scam coin. And what happens with that is it's not that difficult to create a cryptocurrency token. And so what someone will do is they'll create a cryptocurrency token. They'll put it on a platform, for example, and then they will create like a fake website for it, and they'll offer it on the market. People will put their investment into it, and then the person that released the token, who holds the most tokens, will sell all of their tokens, and they'll basically cash out. It's a kind of like a I think it's pump and dump scheme where people get rich off that. And the best way that you can avoid that is to make sure that the platform that you are using verifies their tokens. The second way that you can do that, so there are some decentralized exchanges out there that you can put a token on, and not, they don't verify it. So is to do research into the token, into the utility of the token, what utilities does it have. So what does that mean? That means that, does a token serve some sort of purpose other than just as a investment tool? Like, does it have any type of, like, for example, the GIE token, the token that we're going to release with our launch, initially the holders will have a discount on fees that are on our application, the people that hold the GIE tokens. And then there's going to be a learn to earn option in phase 2, where the customers can educate themselves. There's an educational platform on the GIE app, and as the customer educates themselves, we call them GIE members. As the GIE member educates themselves, they'll earn, and they take a small quiz, they'll earn some GIE tokens. And then thirdly, there's going to be some governance rights with the GIE token, where the people that hold the most GIE token are going to have more say into what other nonprofit partners we add, what other educational material we add to the platform. It gives the GIE member who holds the most tokens more say in where the app goes. And then lastly, there's going to be a staking option where if you hold the token for a certain amount of time, it's going to accrue interest on it. And so making sure that it's not just a meme token. And a meme token is a token that somebody has just created just out of the blue. I hate giving names for tokens and stuff, but like, there was that token with the dog. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the dog, and it was just a meme token that was created with really no utility, no purpose, and a lot of people invested in it. I was one of them, hoping that over the long term that it would really accrue some value, and it never really did. And so you just got to be really careful. Again, the easiest way to make sure that you're not investing in a scam token is to make sure that the wallet or the exchange platform that you're using vets their tokens. And the second way, if you're on one of those exchanges that doesn't vet their tokens, you can do research into that token and kind of dig in and see what utilities does it have, what purpose does it have, who invented it, where did this token come from. And so let me say, I got to do a couple plugs for GIE. One, we are operating as a completely non-custodial digital wallet platform. We are going to reroute our orders to a completely decentralized exchange, which means we do not hold our customer funds. The customer is the complete true holder of their funds. They're doing exchanges that happen on the web, if you will, Web3. And we vet all of our tokens for validity, and to make sure that all of the tokens that are offered on our platform are not anything fraudulent or anything that's going to have a scam related to it.
So now, and you said just or for those individuals that are saying, okay, maybe they're not on your platform yet, or they already have invested and they're looking and want to do a bit more research, kind of, you mentioned you can kind of review it, check into it. Is that just kind of, again, reviewing what they have and kind of whether or not it's tied to anything and the information that's put out, or is there any central place to look, or kind of walk through kind of the best ways to go about checking that?
Yeah, so again, I just used the internet, and I'll do my own research before I invest into a token or a coin, and I'll ask, is this a real token? Is this who invented the token? What utilities does the token have? What purpose does it have? What is what kind of, so that kind of research, doing it online, I think is ideal. for investing, especially when you're talking about crypto. Again, we're operating. I think Bitcoin was invented in 2008, so we're almost 15 years. We're 15 years in now from when the very first technology was invented. And so we just want to be careful. I just want to tell everybody to just be careful what you're investing in. I've heard stories where people will put their whole retirement into a token, expecting it to go up, and then they lose everything. Be mindful about what you're doing. Don't invest more than you're willing to lose in anything, for that matter. That's how I operate. And then I also wanted to mention the one of the safest ways to keep your funds. So if you're on a digital wallet and you're riding a variable token and you're afraid that overnight it's going to go down, or you're afraid that you can't keep your eye on it. So one of the things that I suggest, or one of the things that I do, is I will take all of my funds and put them into USDC, USDT, I forget the gold, UAX. I can't remember the name of the gold token, but you can put your value, you can pull it out of those, out of the variable tokens, and put it into a stable coin or a stable token, and that can kind of give you peace of mind overnight, to where it's not going to, the value of it's going to it's going to ride the dollar, ride gold, or whatever it is. That way, you're not going to see overnight where everybody sold their tokens at 3 a.m. and now you've lost thousands of dollars. It's a safe way to operate without having to cash all the way out of the application.
No, I think that's definitely some great walkthrough, helpful advice, and lot to take in and consider as people are looking into the blockchain and cryptocurrency. And so with that, we're lots of things that we'll have to circle back on, and are good conversations in the future. But we're already reaching towards the end of this podcast and in this episode, and I always love to wrap up with with a question. So we're going to jump to that now, which is, within your industry, what is the biggest myth and why is it wrong?
So we kind of already been talking about this. The biggest myth that I see within the crypto industry is just like a lack of education about the technology, and that automatically people think that crypto is a Ponzi scheme, or crypto technology is a get rich quick scheme. It's not. Really, blockchain technology is a very transparent way to do business. Blockchain is actually a ledger where you can go on and see every transaction. And if you really want to get into the blockchain technology, there's several YouTube videos. On the GIE app, there'll be a whole educational platform. We're going to have an AI that can walk customers through a lot of the processes and educational material on the platform. For those of you who still don't believe in AI, there's a disable button where you AI from the app. But just knowing that blockchain technology is a very transparent, a very real way to do business, and a lot of banks, a lot of governments are already moving towards digital currencies, and so we are trying to keep it. We're trying to keep at the GI on the GI platform. We're trying to keep the essence of crypto, which is decentralization, as least control as possible. But still not allowing, scam and fraud tokens and things like that. And so I think that's the biggest myth, is that, without doing any research into it, without doing anything, without educating themselves on the technology, they automatically think that crypto is a scam or a scheme. It's not. There's a lot of utilities for it. There's a lot of purposes for crypto. And whether you like it or not, cryptocurrency and blockchain technology is the future.
No, I think that there's I think to your point, learning and putting in the time to understand it, to come up to speed on it, rather than either just taking the tip from somebody you heard or what you see on television. Either way, gives you a much better level of understanding, comfort, and control as to how you might use it, and what opportunities there are there. So definitely a great myth to dispel, and helpful insight. So With that, now as we do wrap up towards the end of the episode, if people want to reach out to you, they want to be a customer, they want to be a client, they want to be an employee, they want to be an investor, they want to be your next best friend, any or all of the above, what's the best way to reach out to you, contact you, find out more?
Okay, so I'm directing everybody to the website. We're going to have 8 social media platforms that we're going to operate on, but I think just to make it simple for everybody, www.giecrypto.com, and that's giecrypto.com, and then there we're going to have our launch date. There's explanation of what we're doing, what we're operating as. And then my personal email, if anybody wants to reach out to me, is going to be Tavi, T is in Thomas, A is in Apple, V is in Victor, I is in Igloo, at giecrypto.com.
Awesome. We'll definitely encourage people to reach out, make a new connection, support a great business. If nothing else, make a new best friend. So with that, Tavi, thank you again for coming on the podcast. It's been fun. It's been a pleasure. Now, for all of you other listeners that are out there, if you can help us to share this expertise with even more startups and small businesses by clicking share, subscribing, and leaving us a review, helps us to really or help those businesses along their journey to success. And on that note, if along your journey you ever need help with patents or trademarks or anything else with your startup or your small business, just go to strategymeeting.com, grab some time with us to chat. We're always here to help. Well, thank you again, Tavi, for coming on the podcast, and wish the next leg of your journey even better than the last.
Thank you so much, Devin.